It's the night.
Streaming cyberspace into your place from Irwindale Speedway and Drag Strip. YesterYear Racing, where past meets present, introduces 2009 to the now with the running of the YesterYear Classic. Round 6 on the YesterYear Racing Tour Modified Series 2026 schedule. And you can witness all the green to checkered action live as it happens right here on the Virtual Grip Network. With 5 races in the book, the series has produced 4 different winners, with only Eric Teapot Stout taking a second helping of victories. But despite leading the series in wins, a feast or famine attitude finds Stout's only 3rd in the championship standings. Riding the wake of a win last time out is Kid Lemon Lime, Luke Logan Allen. American playwright David Mammoth wrote, "Old age and treachery will always beat youth and exuberance." For points leader James Lowe, so far that adage is ringing true as the veteran leads the kid by 60 points in the standings. Luke's sire, Kenny Allen, joins his son along with Lowe and Stout as the only winners this season. Papa Kenny is 4th in the points. As far as laps go, we won't turn more this season than tonight, with an all-you-can-eat 225 on the menu. That's 900 left turns for your corner counters. So best to answer the call of nature now. Grab a generous supply of snacks from the pantry, fill up your hydration bucket with the beverage of your choosing, then pull the lever on the Lazy Boy and settle in for the excitement of simulated tour modifieds on a paved short track. Hey, from the state that when the big quake hits will give Nevada a coastline, a warm California hello and welcome on this Tuesday. It's May 26th. 2026, the institution. J.R. Shepard joins yours truly, Phil Soupson, high up in the EGN broadcast booth to bring you our bird's eye view. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders. Hey, it's Replay Ryan Seneker. All right, partner, what can you tell us about this place?
Well, Soup, I think tonight these drivers are going to have multiple levels of emotions. This place, it's a half mile in length. It is super smooth, and it contains progressive banking. Now, those emotions, they will come into play for this reason. This track is one that is higher line dominant, and it is really fun to drive around when you're just by yourself. However, when you get to racing someone here and trying to make those passes, it can be super frustrating. I spoke about the progressive banking this place has, and that is to assist the driver in setting up and making passes, and it absolutely can be done around here. But driving the Tour Modified does not make it simple. These higher horsepower cars, they create a lot of wheel spin when you run that inside line. Because of that, these drivers, they will have to be aggressive to complete those passes, especially as they get farther up front in the field. And whether it be running down low and abusing your tires, or even trying to pull off a very nice slide job, either way, this track, it is known for producing some wild races, and as the aggression level goes up, so does the chance that we will see a big wreck here tonight. But at the end of the night, Soup, this is not the track on the schedule that will win you the championship, but it can be a track that gets your season turned around. I know there are several front runners that are looking to do just that here tonight.
Hey, that is some good stuff. I got more stuff to tell you. You know, the YesterYear Tour Modified Series is the flagship racing series sanctioned by the YesterYear Racing League. This year's 2026 schedule will be rerunning the 2009 Wheeling Southern Modified Tour. Each race is set up based on the actual race in history. Track, weather, rules, point system, length, starting time. Well, it's all identical to the event that took place some 17 years ago. Tonight's race is based on the Appalachia Indian 225, run Saturday, May 26, 2009 at Ascot Park. There were 16 cars in the field that night. Not a whole lot is known about the race, except Tom Slick in his Thunderbolt grease lapper bested his rival, the evil Baron Automatic, in dramatic fashion. Now, this is just in, contrary to what you just heard, there's actually is no history for tonight's race as it did not exist. You know, the YesterYear Board of Directors voted at the end of 2025 season to have one race that was a 15 race schedule that was a wild card. And this was done to enable the series to go to a track once per year that these cars haven't raced on in history. And, you know, in this humble commentator's opinion, if they really wanted to do something truly different, JR, they could have raced on the figure eight. That would have been good, don't you think?
No, that would, without a doubt, have been wild. And it would have created some action for us. So, yes, I'm for that.
All right. We'll show you the points during one of the caution flags. For right now, let's go ahead and give you the grid as they're gridding up. We got a nice full field here tonight. A whole score of drivers lining up. Let's give you the front row. Well, it's Kid Lemon Lime's dad, Kenny Allen. He'll be starting on the inside, flanked by the points leader, James Lowe.
Inside row 2, we got Chris Worrell. On the outside, you just spoke about him, Luke. Kid Lemon Lime Soup, I'm sorry. I can't even talk tonight. Luke Logan Allen, he rolls off in 4th.
That's all right. Hey, watch out for this guy. Rex Hoyle is due for a win. He's starting in 5th position. Lloyd Moore will be outside.
Rolling off in 7th place, we got Jeff Lemire, and on the outside in 8th, Brian Bianchi.
A pair of BRL veterans making up row 5, Todd Liston and Chris Hayslip.
Real life isn't always kind to my floors, but I have Rejuvenate All Floors Restore to help keep them looking like new. With just one coat, the penetrating formula fills in scratches, gives my floors a sparkling shine, and adds protection, so I can breathe new life into the floors throughout my home. Give your floors a long-lasting shine with Rejuvenate Floor Restorers. Rejuvenate. Clean is a powerful thing.
Inside row 6, we got Brian Johnson, and on the outside, Tom Hilbert.
I believe making his series debut is former police chief of Plain City, Ohio. It is the Chief, Steve Hilbert. He'll be starting the Baker's Dozen spot, flanked by Jerry Isaacs.
Rolling off in 15th, we got Scott Negus, and on the outside 16th, Torch Childs.
The run runner, Glenn Jameson, starting in 17th. He's inside of series organizer Alan Wanamaker.
And last row on the grid, inside in 19th place will be Roger Hurley. On the outside in 20th, Gavin Adams.
225 laps. That's right. You heard me correct. Plus a parade lap and a pace lap. I have no idea what that means for pit stops. 1, JR? 2? What does that mean? 1, certainly.
I think you're going to be screaming for tires here tonight. Only one set in the pits, and these drivers they have to make it last. So, tires are going to be a big, big topic here tonight as we get through this race.
That's why I love working with you. I forgot that the rule book in the line in the rule book, they're one set only, so they have to choose when they're going to do it. All right. They wait for the flag man to pull it out. Gather up the chickens, hey, cover in the cows. The horses are out of the barn, and it's James Lowe on the outside, Papa Kenny Allen on the inside, is familiar number 49. He gets the best run down the back straight in this progressive banking. The inside line seems to be good. The outside line is holding. They continue to race. Looks like Kenny's going to get credit with the lead in the first lap, and Lowe finally gives it up, tucks in behind him. Rounding out your top 5, it's Luke Logan Allen with Chris Worrell and Lloyd Moore.
Yeah, and Kenny did a nice job up front there because that was not easy to do. Leader does not have lane choice in this series. If you ever want to start on the outside, this is the track you would want to do it at.
Well, you talked about the outside, but now going underneath, James Lowe goes to the inside and makes the pass on Allen. So we got ourselves a new leader, point leader out in front. Father and son racing second and third. Don't turn your dad. It's a good way to get grounded. Just a little advice from Uncle Soup to Kid Lemon Lime. Back half of your top 10. Rex Hoyle, Brian Bianchi, Jeff Lemire, Todd Liston, and Chris Hayslip.
Yeah, and here is a perfect example of that progressive banking around this track. You'll see the top side is the preferred lane. That's where you're going to carry a lot of momentum, but you can make those inside lanes work if you drive them correctly. I did speak about it, though, in the opening. In these higher horsepower cars, you can use up a lot of rear tires, especially as you try to accelerate up out of the corner, so you got to be super careful if you do it.
Little tack going on right now. This is Lloyd Moore trying to look underneath of Whirl. And he gets that done. I keep telling you, the 54, keep an eye on him, Rex Hoyle. He's a sleeper. Doesn't race full time. He's been racing a lot recently. He'll be there at the end, if we ever get to the end of 225 laps. Folks, we only have 217 more to go.
Yeah, and, you know, I think one of the reasons why we're going to see, I could jinx us, so I hope not, but I think we'll see a little calmer race. We see Moore trying to go after your second place driver. He gets by the kid there in third place, and now he's going to go after his dad, Ken. But I think you're going to see, for the most part, drivers be calm. They're going to try to stay in lane or in line up on the top side. If they see an opportunity to pass, they're going to take it. But I don't think anybody's going to be super aggressive right now, because it is a 225 lap race. And like I said, you only have one extra set of tires sitting in the pits. You've got to make these tires last, and you can't do that if you're sitting here battling each other lap after lap.
Well, the whirlwind not listening to my partner as he's racing very hard as he goes around both of the Allens. Chris Whirl now up into third. Before we went green, the man who signs the checks here at VGN and pays the commentators and our director had an interesting thought. He said this is a high line track. He was thinking, you know, Kid Lemon Lime might be good here. I don't know. He likes to go high when nobody else likes to go high. He's kind of a contrarian. Would be surprised if Luke tries to race the bottom tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Luke is a driver that's always going to try to find a lane that nobody's using, and that's what really makes him unique as a driver. A lot of that comes into play because he's younger. He's willing to do things that some of these other drivers think don't work, and a lot of times Luke makes it work. So I think he shows these patterns. You need to be a little more open-minded.
He's too young to know what he doesn't know, I guess. So, hey, how about a driver who's on the move, up 6 spots? Let's look at car number 51. This is Jerry Isaacs. He is caught to the end of the lead train. Got Brian Bianchi in front of him. Racing back a couple spots inside the top 10.
Yeah, and that's a perfect view, trying to show the different lanes he is trying to use. This time he dove all the way down to the bottom, and you can see on the outside, just barely, Bianchi still able to hang on. Now he's going to try to move Bianchi up the track, and that may be enough to cause Brian to lift, and then Jerry now has that position, but they continue to race side by side.
Looks like he's going to get that done. Let's drop back a couple spots, trying to do the same thing as the double nickel of Scott Negus as he's working underneath Jeff Lemire. Peeking also back there is Chris Hazlett, taking a little bit of a look inside of Todd Liston. Liston always patient. Early on, you forget about him, and then when the end of the race comes, he's there. With that going on, I think Negus is, let's look at Negus now. He's worked himself under Lemire, but he's got to finish it because Lemire has pulled right up on the back of Bianchi, so there's no room for Negus to pull up. He's got to get a twofer here.
Yeah, and that's awesome to point out, because that's something I haven't talked about yet. But when you go to make a pass here, it can take you a couple of corners to try to get it done, but you want to have a space to fall back in line in case you don't. And if you try to make that pass, and that driver, like we see Lemire closing up on the back of Bianchi, Negus no longer has anywhere to go. So he has to make this work. And in return, he may end up using up some of that valuable tire, especially the right front and right rear that we kind of talked about. If he gets those too hot, he's going to go backwards no matter what.
stay on this, and once this pass is made, assuming it ever gets made, then we'll tell you about what's going on up front, because there's some interesting gaps going on. The time of day, the sim time of day is 3:28 in the afternoon. If you look at it, we got some gloomy, overcast California skies here. It looks like they're racing under some clouds. Very dark here in California.
Yeah, and what that is doing is that's making the track temp not be super hot. We're at 85 degrees. It is a warm track temp, but for Irwindale, that is not a super hot track surface. So that means right now the track has a ton of grip in it. The drivers feel that grip, and I think some of these drivers that have gone up front early may potentially be overdriving their cars because they feel like, hey, this is a lot more grip than what we had in practice. Let's use it. Let's make some passes. But that can come back to bite you. This is a long race. We know that the Tour Modifieds in particular, they go through handling changes because they do have a lot of fuel on board. They start out feeling a little bit loose. They rotate really well through the corners, and the next thing you know, they start to get tight. And that tight condition will start to hurt that turn. It will start to wear out the right front tire. You'll start to put more wheel into it, and then that'll start to wear out your right rear tire. So it is a double-edged sword, and these drivers have to be thinking about that. It is a very, very long race.
Director, I'm going to...
You know the name, you know the capability, and you know the quality. The Ford F-150 truck, awarded America's #1 full-size truck for new vehicle quality. Unmatched. Ford F-150.
Step out of my lane here and call for a shot. How about a stationary shot? I like something that we can show the viewers the gap from the leaders that have built up here as they go by. Now watch this. Here comes the leader, coming in a minute. Boom. They're second. Boom. And then we wait, and here's everybody else. That's James Lowe and Lloyd Moore. Have opened up a big lead.
Yeah, they have, and they don't have to worry about anybody putting any pressure behind them, so they're kind of able to run the speed that they prefer to run at this moment. Where it gets a little bit tighter is back in the pack, probably closer to Luke Logan Allen. He's got a whole field of cars lined up behind him, and he does not want to let those cars get too close. Even if he's trying to save his tires, he does not want that car behind to get too close, because when you start bottling everybody up, they start to get impatient, and that's when some crazy moves start to get made and potentially contact that can put you out of the race. So you got to kind of manage that. It's very difficult to do when you're trying to save tires, but that's one of the things that is on the minds of these drivers here tonight.
Lloyd Moore, we were looking out the front of his car, looking out the back of his car. My goodness, it's like he's driving from LA to Vegas. Nobody in sight.
And he's closing in on the leader as well. So, I mean, he is getting closer to James Lowe, who had about a 1.5 second lead. See the 25 right in the wall up there. Might have got just a little too high. You can jump what you would call the cushion. We don't really have a cushion on asphalt, but you do have that rubber buildup. You can see up against the wall in the corners. If you get too high on corner entry here and you get up into those marbles, it will absolutely throw you into the wall. And once you're attached to that wall, it is very difficult to come off of it.
Oh, we got a spinner. He's in the grass, and he brings it back out. It's Gavin Adams. I don't think it's going to bring out the caution.
Yeah, but he's got to get moving. He's got to stay on this lead lap. You see his car kind of bobbling and wiggling around on him there as he's trying to get back up to speed. But this is probably something that James Lowe did not want to see. One of the advantages of being the leader and jumping out there early in this race is that he's had clean air on his nose. He's not had to do anything crazy to get this car to perform. But if he closes in on Gavin there, he is going to start to lose some front end grip, and he does not want that. Plus, we see that Moore is closing in on James Lowe, so this could potentially open up a opportunity to pass for the lead here.
There's the two right there. Remember, we gave you that stationary shot and they were a long way apart. It didn't take long for more to get there. I know this is farther back in the pack, but it's some great racing. Let's go back to 16th position. This is Tom Hilbert, Brian Johnson, also in the mix, Torrance Childs. Then racing up high is Steve Hilbert. So both the Hilberts. You know, Tom stuck in on me there. I didn't know Tom was in today. So we have the Hilbert brothers. And the reason I bring this up, they are battling. It won't be long till the leaders get there. Now, let's drop back and look at James Lowe, because now he's got to the back of Gavin Adams.
Yeah, and he has got to be thinking 1, 2, maybe even 3 laps ahead on how he's going to attempt to make this pass on Gavin Adams, because he cannot lose his momentum. As soon as he gets there, he's got to take that run and try to make a pass. Now, Gavin Adams is going to race him hard. We do have lucky dogs on in this session, so you can go a lap down, and it's not the end of your race. But even so, you do not want to have to take that lucky dog, because you will have to restart at the tail end of the pack. So you don't want to be in that situation. James is trying to make the pass here through 3 and 4. He dipped down low, but he did not clear Gavin.
Oh, and closing so fast was Lloyd Moore. I thought he was going to get in the back of Adams, but he gets it sorted out. All right, JR, imagine you and I are on the same track. You're coming up on me. I'm going to go a lap down. You're the leader. Where do you want me on this track? You want me up top? You want me on the bottom? Or you want me in the pit lane?
Myself, I would prefer the drivers that are getting ready to go a lap down would kind of run the lower to the middle side of the track. And that does mean that you're asking those drivers to run a different lane than what they have been running. So that can be a little bit dangerous in itself. But I would prefer to have that top lane opened up. And the reason why is that even if I'm a lot faster than you, if I go to make that pass in the corner and I don't clear you, I kill my momentum and I open up the opportunity for the driver behind me to pounce and get to my inside. So I don't want that to happen. I want to protect that outside.
GR is here to tell you what it's like to be a winner. I'm going to tell you what it's like to be a back marker. I hate a track where the racing line is up top, because that means to get out of the way, I got to go down low. And I start to get nervous, and there's nothing makes me more nervous as to be in a line I'm not familiar with the leader on my outside. So it's a tough situation. Leader coming up now. They're going to have some work to do, because now they're coming up on that little bit of battle that was going up in front of them with Hilbert and Childs.
Yeah, and that one's going to be a little more difficult to navigate, because we saw those guys, they were racing each other. They're trying to gain track position themselves. They've sorted it out a little bit right now and gotten single file, but they realize that the leaders are coming. And you see right there, Torrance trying to make a move down to the inside. They know it's go time. So when these leaders catch them, they may still be side by side. And at that point, James Lowe's going to have a very difficult decision to make on which way he wants to go. And it may be through the middle, which in itself, on 3 wide here, there's room, but it closes up on corner exit.
Hi, we're All Modern. We sell all styles of modern furniture and decor. Then we deliver it all ASAP for free. It's all hand vetted for quality, so you know it can withstand it all. All Modern. Modern made simple.
Childs inside of Hilbert. Hilbert loses a little bit of momentum. This should be an easy pass now for James Lowe. Well, I say that he can get there. Oh no! Right in front of him!
Oh, and
Lowe is collected. Torrance Childs got loose right in front of the leader.
Yeah, and that is the perfect nightmare if you are the leader. That is exactly what you don't want to see. You hope it doesn't happen. We're getting the replay here. We're looking up ahead at Torrance Child. He made that pass, but he got in just a little too high. You see his right side's in the marbles, and that causes him to lose grip and spin out. James Lowe was already committed to the inside trying to make a pass. Ultimately, he didn't make super hard contact with the front, but Lloyd Moore didn't have anywhere to go to check up and avoid James Lowe. So James Lowe goes around. He's going to lose a few spots here.
I feel for him. It's the back marker's nightmare. That's exactly what you don't want to do. You just want to be out there having fun, staying out of trouble. The last thing you want to do is that to happen, and feel for it. Well, this is interesting. I think Lloyd Moore got through relatively clean, but maybe not. We got a lot of action on pit lane. Moore, Whirl.
Yeah, I'm going to watch some of these guys that are on pit road and see what they're doing. I think for the most part, you may be seeing some drivers take fuel. Also, a couple of those guys up front maybe getting some damage repaired. I'm a little bit worried. I did not see any tires go on Moore's car as he's pulling away, or James Lowe, but I'm a little bit worried on the James Lowe side because he did make direct contact with that front end. Sometimes these modifieds, they can be a little weird. You feel like you have no damage, and a little bit later on, you blow up because you overheat. So we'll have to keep an eye on that moving forward.
Okay, well, there you go. Always fun to work with JR because he remembers stuff. We do have a fuel issue tonight. Quick caution flags here in California. They put it on the ballot and it was voted in. Caution flag should be as short as possible, so we go racing again. Luke Logan Allen fighting his dad. They inherit the lead because the guys up in front came in for what we think is fuel. Oh, the Whirlwind picks up a black flag. Chris Whirl and Bianchi. Oh no, it's Hoyle, not the Whirlwind. It's Rex Hoyle.
Oh, and with these cautions we're watching on screen, this presents opportunities to make passes that you might not have been able to do during the last green flag run. We see Todd Liston. He's on the outside there trying to make a pass on Hurley, and Hurley's holding him tight, but right now these drivers are still side by side for 2 or 3 laps at this point.
Roger, in the number 77, if you're watching the rebroadcast, I've been trying to get to you all race. You've been having a nice run. You were up many, many positions before the caution flag. You stay out there. Now, you're up a whopping 15. I've been watching you. We haven't got to you on the screen, but now we can. As you're working inside of Todd Liston.
Yeah, and the bad thing for Roger here is it's not that he doesn't have speed. He doesn't have anywhere to go right now. So even if he passes Todd, there's nowhere for him to slide up and get in line at the moment. He's hoping that opens up for him. But I think that's his biggest issue right now. There's just nowhere for him to go. So he ideally wants to make a pass on Todd, slide up, cool his tires down a little bit, and then attempt to make another pass. But he just wasn't able to do it. So he's going to have to fall in line here before this next pack catches him.
Yeah, he surrendered Casper there and then decided to tuck in behind Todd Liston. All right, remember Lloyd Moore, car number 26, he was leading? Well, no, he was back in second, and then he got a little bit of piece of the incident there that James Lowe was involved in. Well, anyway, Lloyd Moore's coming. Just got underneath the rum runner. And now is up into 6th. Of all the cars that took a stop, it is Moore and then James Lowe back in 9th.
Yeah, and you got to remember those drivers, they did come down pit road, but they did not take tires. So they're still on equal tires as these drivers. The only difference they have is they've probably got a little bit more fuel on board now. So that will change the handling of their car a little bit. could potentially free it up because now they're going to have more rear weight. It'll free it up on corner entry a little bit, kind of give you some grip up out of the corner, but be a little bit freer on corner entry, and that may be just what they need on those older tires.
You hear JR and I myself talk about the guys who took pit stops and the guys who didn't. It might be a bit confusing, but we here at VGN, as we're looking at that great battle, we got a perfect graphic for you, as we'll bring it up as soon as we can with this great two. There it is. Hopefully it'll stay out of the way of that two-wide battle. The guys with the little blue line there are the guys who came in for a pit stop. More and low than the three guys, Worrell, Isaacs, and Lemire. Love that graphic.
Yeah, we're watching on the screen right now. We see James Lowe. He was finally able to get in. He got in front of Hazel up there, but he'd been working to the inside for a few laps here. He sees Lloyd Moore a couple of cars up ahead starting to make ground and pull away, and he does not want Lloyd to get too far away because he feels like that's the car he's ultimately racing on his strategy. So he wants to keep him in check. He would ideally like to get by him, but he's got to get by Glenn Jamison first.
Good racing throughout the field. We'll call her Mama Allen. If you're watching, heat up the oven. Put something tasty in there. Your men are running 1 and 2 right now. Luke Logan and Kenny. Right behind the car you're looking at is Scott Negus. And then another driver is the 77 of Roger Hurley. He's up in 5th. He's on that alternate, well, I don't know if it's the alternate pit strategy. Perhaps the people who pitted are on the alternate strategy. It's hard to say. But he looks really good.
Oh, James Lowe hard into the wall with Glenn Jamison off of turn 4 right there on your screen. And you can see for sure Glenn Jamison night is over. See some contact trying to get turned around there, but I believe, like we talked about, James was trying to get caught back up 2 more and just was not quite clear. We see here's the replay. Jamison's hanging tight on the outside, and Jamison's about as high as you can expect a driver to go on corner exit. There's not much more room he can go up before he loses grip, and the two just come together, and that's always the thing that you worry about as a driver here. You're trying to make a pass, you're on the throttle, your car starts to move up, and you're never for sure, especially in these modifieds, exactly where that car is on the outside, but the two just came together here.
Quickly, Director, pull up Glenn Jamison. He's a good guy. He only has 3 tires on his car right now. Page 17 of the VGN Commentator's Handbook says, do not talk to a driver that just got involved, but I have trust in the rum runner. We have him?
Hey, how you doing, Soup?
All right, we're not supposed to do this because you just got involved in one. You couldn't be much higher, right?
All right, man, short night. Tonight's a short night. I guess it means I get to go get some popcorn and soda pop and sit back and relax and watch the rest of the show.
Well, if you're going to have a short night, you might as well have one on a 225-lap race because just get the disappointment out of the way. Sorry to hear it, man.
Man, ain't that the truth? It's a good one to have a short night for sure. But thanks for calling me up, and you guys are doing a great job. Looking forward to seeing the rest of this race. Catch you all next time.
All right, next time, baby. Good luck. The run runner is going to be down the order. So we have another set of pit stops that come in, and some guys still are refusing to come in. They are stubborn. Clearly, they were born under the zodiac flag of the bull. No doubt about it. Alan Wanamaker, Torrance Childs yet to come in.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of looking down through the field on the drivers that decided to pit this time, Soup. And again, I'm not seeing anybody that was up front taking tires. So there may have been a couple of drivers that did, but none of the drivers that were up front in contention, none of them took tires during this set of pit stops either.
All right. He's been banged up. He's been in 2 solid incidents. We're talking about James Lowe. He's your leader. Alan Wanamaker might just waving everybody by, but he did not have a very competitive start. So for what it's worth, James Lowe is out in front.
Yeah, and that restart kind of shook everybody up. We see a 3-wide situation that almost led to contact, but the driver's doing a nice job to avoid it. 3 wide once again through turns 1 and 2. It shows how hairy that it can get out there when you do this, but if everybody is aware of where they are on the track, you can produce some great racing right now. That's what these drivers are doing.
Looked like the first lap at Indianapolis there. We had 3 wide, and behind them 3 wide. We got 3 wide. We may have 4 wide coming up.
Yeah, and I just saw James Lowe come down pit road, Soup. He was the guy that was leading, but he did have a black flag for some reason, so he has served it. He is returning back to the racetrack.
Hey, I said keep me frozen until the chicken salad sub is back.
It is back.
I can't wait to eat, but I can't feel my arm. The chicken salad sub is back with slow roasted whole white meat chicken for $8.95 for a limited time only at Jersey Mike's.
Could it be that he jumped the start, which you can almost blame on Wanamaker?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely can be. Wanamaker was the control car. He was down on the inside, and if you get to the start-finish line before the leader, it doesn't necessarily give you a black flag, but if you get to the start-finish line that far ahead of the leader, it definitely can throw you one. iRacing is getting better and better at this, and he was way ahead of Wanamaker by the start-finish line.
I'm going to pull a JR here in James Lowe's defense. I mean, Wanamaker basically parked the car. Let's look at Kenny Allen working underneath. This is Jeff Lemire.
Yeah, and he's going to get that pass done. And as you say that, look at the screen there, Sue. Starting to brighten a little bit. Clouds are kind of going away, and that's going to mean a hotter, warmer track surface that is going to be slick. These drivers, if they've had handling conditions or trouble making passes, it's going to get more difficult now.
The Wanamaker is really struggling. Well, I'll tell you this, iRacing has the most attractive three-dimensional fans of any sim racing platform. Oh, getting in the wall is Jerry Isaac. He's going to lose positions. And now that the sun has come out, because we wish they all could be California girls, they're going to be even more attractive since the fans are delayering, is what we like to call it.
Oh, we saw, the contact that Jerry Isaacs made. It was just enough to slow him down. Negus got to the inside, but that's one of those things that's always difficult. As soon as you see a driver in front of you make a mistake, you want to pounce and get to the inside of them, but they normally get their momentum back going before you get there. So he was kind of running side by side for a while. He does finally make the pass, but it took him a little while to do it, and that means using up some of that tire. We see Ken Allen here. He's also trying to follow him through.
All right, folks. It would be a sin if we didn't put the camera on Tom Hilbert. Why? For some Lord-forsaken reason, Tom Hilbert is your leader. I don't know how this has actually happened. I guess because he didn't come in for a pit stop. He's been out there for 37 laps. Everybody else came in about a dozen laps ago. So, Tom, you're doing a good job. Lloyd Moore has matriculated his way back up to the front. This is just a matter of time, and baby brother Tom puts it in the wall, and Lloyd goes underneath him.
But, you know, that's a good way to build confidence, though, Soup. You know, if you're not a driver that's able to just naturally get to the front, go off strategy a little bit, get track position, restart up front, and you could see there, Tom had speed. It wasn't something that Lloyd was just able to chase him down and go right by. You could see that entire field as we were riding on board, looking out the back window from Tom's car, that there were still gaps there. He had speed, and that's got to give you confidence knowing that, hey, I can run up front with some of these drivers if I can just get myself in the right position. So I encourage drivers that don't normally run up front to do it once in a while. Find a way to get yourself up there with pit strategy, because the only way you're going to learn how to get faster or better is to run with those drivers up front.
Okay, I'm writing that down. Next time I'm out in front of a field that's way faster than me, I'll tell him JR sent me.
Don't blame me.
All right, I want to follow up on some stories we've been talking about. Let's check in on Roger Hurley. He's been quick. He's still up 12 positions. He's on this recent pit stop strategy of the guys who just made a pit stop. He's in 5th place behind Allen, Negus, Isaacs, and Liston. So he's been really good today. Negus is up there racing in 2nd behind those guys. Who's missing? Who's conspicuous? Who's gone? Kid Lemon Lime. He's way down in 9th spot.
Yeah, no, I gotta think, you know, we usually see Luke charge really fast through the field. Something his dad has spoken about during interviews, that Luke's got to learn to save his tires. I've not seen that tonight. I think Luke, obviously he knows how to get around this place. He's got speed. I think he's being a little bit calmer tonight. He's trying to say, I'm going to make my tires last as long as I possibly can so I can put that fresh set on if we get a late caution. Oh, we got a caution coming out here. And it does look like Kenny Allen is going to get caught up in it. Roger Hurley, both of those drivers with left front wheel damage that is going to end their night.
Hi, we're All Modern. We sell all styles of modern furniture and decor, from Scandi to mid-century. Then we deliver it all ASAP for free. That's right, free. It's all hand-vetted for quality, so you know it can withstand it all. All your guests, all your kids, all your needs. Looking to make modern life easy? You're all set. All modern. Modern made simple.
Yeah, it started up. And I think it's Tom Hilbert that gets loose. Oh, Tom. JR told you to run up in front. He's just doing what he said to do. And then he collects Roger Hurley and Kenny Allen. Let's stay on this for a minute. And then let's scan back to Roger Hurley and stay on the 77 for a minute, because this gets interesting. Here he comes. Boink.
Yeah, I really think Hurley was hoping that his car was okay and he could pull away, but without that left front, you're not going to do much turning, and right in the back of Ken Allen, who also has similar damage.
What happens when you go 225 laps at a short oval in California? First of all, it's a short oval in California. There's not a lot of those. I guess you can get one in Bakersfield if you head north a little bit, but that's about it. Well, you get yourself an attrition-filled race. And we'd be remiss if we didn't say that James Lowe is still on the lead lap. 2 incidents and a black flag. Then he's in 10th.
Yeah, I mean, he showed on the restart where he ended up getting a black flag that he still had speed. So, now that he's got things sorted out, another caution here to kind of get him caught back up to everybody. He's still a driver that can be in contention for this win.
Okay, 225 laps. Soup came prepared. I've got some caution flag entertainment, some filler information for you. In 1987, the city of Irwindale offered the Oakland Raiders owner Al Davis $10 million non-refundable signing bonus and a loan to build a 65,000-seat stadium inside a massive 160-foot deep abandoned rock quarry. Now, the deep pit became famously known as the Raider Crater. And as so often happens in California, the stadium deal collapsed. For what other reason? Well, environmental and political hurdles. And the Raiders never moved here. A decade later, they built themselves a racetrack on it. And we are back to green. Your leader now, Todd Liston. Lloyd Moore fighting back.
Yeah, Lloyd starting on that inside lane, not where you want to be, and Todd knew that. Todd has a lot of experience here. He knew that he could make that outside work, so Todd goes up there and gets the lead. And Todd has been a driver, and we see Negus trying to do the same thing here. Todd has been a driver that if he does not start toward the front, he will take care of his stuff. And I guarantee you he's got more rubber left on that car than what a lot of these drivers have. He could potentially just walk away from it here.
We can't show you the lead because right now there is a hornet's nest of drow getting loose, wandering around the track. Oh my goodness, was Luke Logan Allen. He looked like a drunk chasing the balloon near a cliff. It's fun to watch, but it never ends well. Kid Lemon Lime is struggling.
Yeah, and he's down on the bottom. He's trying to do something a little bit different to make things work, but the track temp is coming up, the sun's coming out, and that track is going to be slicker and slicker as we go here. So that's where you're going to see that movement. We see even James Lowe in the middle of the track wiggling around, trying to get the throttle laid down. These tires have a lot of laps on them, and the rear tires are having less and less grip because of it.
The director has found the perfect camera shot. There's just too much to watch. You almost want to watch this from the space station. You need to get away from the action. Now they get it sorted out, kind of. Is it JR, the progressive banking allows for like that kind of Talladega type racing line that I see back there?
Yeah, absolutely. The progressive banking is awesome. This was one of the first tracks to really make it, I guess, stand out and work for the viewers both at home and at the track in person, but it creates amazing racing. And one of the reasons I feel like it works so well here is because there is such a wide track surface in the corners. Look how wide that track surface is. You could literally put cars 5 or 6 wide sitting still next to one another, and that creates that banking to where it really pays off. So down the inside you got less banking, but you've got less distance to travel. Up on top, you've got a longer distance, but you've got more banking to carry speed. So it creates what we're seeing here. And this is why progressive banking has come into a lot of racetracks, because of this very track that really started it off.
Well, I think the point you made about the width of the racetrack, too, is also because I've seen 3 wide, and I have a philosophy that it never works, but I've seen multiple 3 wide situations here that they've made be okay.
Yeah, and all 3 of those lanes, you can make work if you drive them correctly. And believe me, there is a wrong and right way to do it. And the drivers that we were watching on screen all look like they had it figured out. And if you do it like that, it becomes fun as a driver because you have options. You can move around and get runs on another driver, and then you go right back to running that dominant lane up top.
Big day. Keep calm. Keep your composure. That means
no matter what,
time to lock in.
Push the pace, thread it.
Show me your game face.
All right, we'll work on it.
What does victory sound like?
1, 2, 3.
Together.
Okay, we're looking at the leader, and we really have to because Todd Liston's out there in front. Now he's being chased by Lloyd Moore. How about a short track event? We are 117 laps into it, and we've had 7 different leaders. That's pretty amazing for this style of racing.
Yeah, it really is. And, one of the things that allows that, we talked about the progressive banking, but also the drivers that are in this league. These drivers come from a lot of different racing leagues to race in the YesterYear Modified Series, and it puts on a
it goes around.
It's going around. Yeah, and that does bring a caution out. I'm a little bit surprised, but it's just sideways long enough, it does bring the caution out for us.
Oh, Scotty, you caught it, baby. I wonder if he's going to get all of his positions back.
Yeah, we'll see. He was, we talked about the track surface getting slicker and slicker, and he did run the middle lane. He'd been doing it a lot, but I think one of the things that you become a little bit overconfident at a track like this because the car's felt so well, you drive in just a little bit deeper, and it's just that, a few inches deeper into the corner that causes that rear end to step out on you, and that's exactly what happened there. Nothing different was really done other than just driving in slightly deeper than what he had been.
All right, unfortunately, we just have to kind of keep track of these things on our notepads here, like all you little soldiers in Soup's clipboard army. We have the same tools that you use. I don't think anybody has taken tires yet that I know of, but now we have pit stops. Do you think now, JR, it's tire time?
I think if you're a driver that's had some upfront speed, I think now is the time to come in and get tires. I think that's what we're going to see Lloyd Moore do here. We'll see if the car goes up. Oh, he goes a little bit too far into his box that time. But
he goes up.
Yep, tire goes up, or car goes up on the right side. So definitely getting tires. This is a track we talk about a lot of times where you only get the right side tires in the modified because the track is short, the lap time under caution is quick, but Lloyd is going to choose to get all 4 tires here. We saw some other drivers only get the 2. I think Lloyd's doing the right thing.
All right, you're confusing me now. I've done these before, and you tell me that taking the right sides and leaving the left sides worn is the better way to get the car to rotate. Not the case here?
I like to keep you guessing a lot of times. But, yeah, so it depends on the track that you're running at and also the car. This track has long corners, very wide, long corners, so that rotation is not going to be as beneficial. Plus, these cars are higher horsepower, so I think you're really abusing the tires, especially both rear tires, and I think that's why you want to take all 4 is because of the rear tires.
All right, we're going green. Todd Liston out in front. Lloyd Moore took 4. I can tell you that Kid Lemon Lime and James Lowe took 2. Those were the only ones that I could study. We have guys on all sorts of different agendas now.
Yeah, and for those drivers, I talked about it being a good time to go ahead and get those tires because we've got roughly 100 laps to go, so we know these cars can definitely do that on a set of tires, but they're hoping that this race goes green, so as they come through the field, they don't want to do anything that can create a caution, because if a caution comes out 50 laps into this run, say, those drivers that stayed out, they're going to come in and get their set of tires, and they're going to be a lot faster than you. You're essentially going to be a sitting duck out there, so they want to keep it clean as they're coming through the field.
With the tower taking up real estate on the left side, I hate to bring up that pit stop graphic because we won't have any screen to look at, but let's do it real quick, Director, and I can show you who to watch out. Luke Logan Allen is the guy. He's up in 4th. Keep an eye on him. He's in that, got tires. It's a long way back to the next guys. Moore and James Lowe back in 10th and 11th. Okay, drop it out of there. There's no real estate to watch the action.
Yeah, and right now you can see Lloyd Moore right at the bottom of your screen. He just made a pass on James Lowe. We assume James has probably got a little bit of handling damage from all of the accidents that he was in. He probably has, more than anything, a toe-out issue, which will make your car tight through the center of the corner. But Lloyd was able to get right by, and he is charging through this field on that new set of tires.
Okay, it is impossible to keep the story straight, but One of the guys we were watching this, there's good racing going on. Roger Hurley is out. He's 29 down. Remember, we saw him. He was going to be competitive. He's gone. He got caught up in trouble. James Lowe has led 48 laps. The driver who's led the next most laps is Todd Liston.
Yeah, and Todd's in a fantastic position, so he's still out front leading this race. He got the track position because of all of the different strategies that are going on. And Todd wants this race to continue to go green. Like I said, he wants another 30, maybe 40 laps to go through here. And then he wants a caution so he can come in and get fresh tires and have a big advantage. But right now, he's doing the job that he needs to do. He is out front. He's protecting the lane that he needs to run. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be a little tougher for him as we're riding on board with Brian Johnson. We can see up front, I believe that's Luke Logan Allen closing in.
He's wandering around the racetrack trying to find. He gets underneath.
Feeling healthy by leaps and bounds. Making a dinner that makes their whole day. And giving your best friend the best nutrients for their best life. Science did that.
Isaacs gives him room, and look. Kid says, you think I can race high? Well, I can put my right sides and my left sides down below the white line.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier. You know, Luke's always a driver that kind of goes wherever everybody else is not going, and I think he's kind of had this planned. Obviously, it didn't work at that moment for him, but he knows that he can run down there, and he's running lower on the track than I've seen anybody consistently be able to do it. So he has a good feel for his car, and I think he's only going to become faster as we get heat in the tires and more tire wear occurring. He's going to be able to use that to his advantage. But Scott Negus is trying to come back through the field, guys. He's the reason why we were under the last caution.
Now remember, Negus was behind Lowe and Moore. So now he has worked his way around both of those guys. Those guys are on new rubber, as is Negus. And JR, you made a great point. With the rule that you only have one set, there are still guys that haven't taken tires yet. And like Liston, you are right. If the caution flag falls perfectly, he'll be the only guy that has a card to play. I mean, everyone else won't be able to come in.
Absolutely, and you know, we're on lap 138 right now. 138 laps is without a doubt doable in a modified around this track on the one set of tires, especially when you have caution laps like we have had multiple times around here. So Todd's done a great job staying out. He wants this to go green. Even if he loses some track position here, he's not too worried about it. He just wants to try to stay as far forward as he can so he has some clean air on that nose to help the car continue to rotate. But like you said, he wants that caution. He just doesn't want it right now. And if he gets it, he's going to have a huge advantage on tires.
Jerry Isaacs was racing up front, and he was running against the wall. Lost a little bit of time. Brian Bianchi, we haven't talked a lot about. He's now behind Isaacs in the hunt. James Lowe working underneath him. Moore now making a move on Negus. I hope you took your Dramamine, because you might get seasick trying to follow the action here at Irwindale.
Yeah, and those two drivers that are behind Liston right there, Negus and Moore, they feel like they're racing each other for the win. They are on similar strategies. They're not too worried about Todd. You see him make some contact on corner entry there. I think they're going to be able to pull it off. Negus is trying to get back to the outside. Moore's going to give him some room here because of that. But these drivers are racing so hard with each other because they think this is for the win.
Liston was out there, and Negus was on the outside line as well, and he had Moore underneath, and Moore kind of had Negus pinned out there. Now behind him is a two-wide battle. That's Lowe on the inside. Isaacs is struggling, but he's doing his very best to hang in there. Oh, they get so close.
Yeah, that's where it becomes you're really vulnerable as that outside driver right on corner entry more than anywhere. Anywhere else you can kind of hold your own ground, but on corner entry, if that guy on the inside decides to just move up, it puts you in a bad spot. And I think James Lowe just went into the wall because of that. I think he tried to edge up on Isaacs.
He's done. Into the wall and took a toe. Now, who got the lead? Moore was side by side with Listen. I think iRacing's going to give it to Lloyd.
Yeah, and that's an easy pass for him because that's the kind of passes you want to see happen. You don't want to have to work too hard, but you can see James Lowe going into the tire barrier, entering turn one there, the worst possible place you can hit the wall at this racetrack. But it's right there. He just thought that he was clear, and, you know, Isaacs was continuing to try to stay on that outside, and ultimately Isaac's front bumper was still there, and that's what turned Lowe into the outside wall.
If you are anywhere near the Liston household, maybe a neighbor or across the street, go ahead and knock on Todd Liston's door and tell him it's time to come in for tires.
Yeah, I think now is without a doubt the time to do it. You're going to have somewhere around, you know, a little under 75 laps to go once we go green. I don't know that you're going to get another perfect opportunity. Also, if you're a driver that's off strategy a little bit like Todd, when you come in, you're obviously not going to be anywhere near the front. So you've got to have time to come back through the field. So I think this is when he's got to do it.
Well, maybe not. I took a quick look at the rules package tonight to see if there was a incident count, because if there is, James Lowe would be coming close to hitting it. I think.
Oh, there is.
Is I? Oh, 17. It's hard to get 17 on an oval, but I've seen a lot of cars in multiple. James Lowe is out. All right, Liston, speaking about out, stayed out. Apparently, he's not on good terms with his neighbors. Got Negas on the inside. Isaacs is struggling. Let's see what the 51 can do. Bianchi and Kid Lemon Lime back in row 3. Here we go. 75 laps to go.
Yeah, and Todd's trying to hold as close as he can to Moore in order to keep that momentum on the outside. He did a fantastic job, even though he had to open the wheel a little bit to avoid contact. He got the momentum down the backstretch, and that's going to carry him through turns 3 and 4 onto the start-finish line.
Liston out there saying, Soup, here's what you can do with your new set of tires. Todd Liston powers around the top. Now let's see what Negas can do. Oh, he does not get good momentum. I said Isaacs was done. He fights into third. He's going to bring with him Luke Logan Allen.
Yeah, that inside. Oh,
where is he going?
So, no, it looks bad. Oh! Ultimately spin out. But that is a line that you can potentially make work here, but there's so many marbles that are down. We see them bouncing onto the camera screen right now. There's so much marbles down the bottom of the track that he had no grip, and he immediately went around.
26 miles across the sea here in California, we have the island of Catalina, and I kind of think that's where Scott Negas was heading. This is fun.
Yeah, we watched the two leaders up here. Todd is doing everything he can to hang tight with the older tires, and after we've got some heat back in them, that's where his disadvantage will start to show. He'll start to have a little less grip than what Lloyd Moore has because he's got fresh rubber, so Moore will be able to maneuver around. Now, what Todd wants to do is everything he can to stay on his outside, because if he can cause Lloyd Moore to have to fight hard, have to overdrive that car a little bit, heat his own tires up or overheat them, then Lloyd Moore is going to lose grip and essentially be back down to the level that Todd Liston is. And that's what Todd's trying to do. He's fighting hard to do it, and it's going to be a hard task, but so far he's done everything right.
Jerry Isaacs has to be liking what he sees as he's back there racing the line that he prefers.
Yeah, and that's a great view as we ride on board with Jerry. So when he sees those two fighting it out, he knows that he doesn't have to do anything crazy. He can slowly close up. He can run the pace he wants to. But here's the thing I would be thinking if I'm him. I've seen Lloyd Moore try it. We see close contact there, but Lloyd Moore has tried to make this pass over and over, and so far it hasn't worked. If I'm Jerry, I want to get up there right behind Todd so I can follow Todd through and I can get that second position. So that is a way to easily make a pass when you see a guy in front of you struggling to do it.
He tries, but Liston denies. Lloyd Moore, he gets a good run off of two. Is he going to make another run at it? Not yet. If you watched a lot of our broadcasts, you know I spent a lot of time reading page 17 of the VGN Commentator's Handbook. In bold print it said, when the man who's paying for the broadcast is the biggest mover, put the camera on him. Let's look at car number 9 in 7th position. It's Alan Wanamaker. Up 11 spots.
Yeah, you know, we pointed it out somewhere close to the halfway mark. He was struggling on a restart. That was one that James Lowe got the black flag, but he's definitely got that thing rolling once again. Back up to speed, and right in front of him, we've got Hilbert.
Well, let's go back up front. He's going to try it one more time. This is Lloyd Moore. He gets a little bit of Liston that time. Liston gets a good drive off of 4, and once again, I think maybe Moore got a little bit of the wall that time. Moore's going to have to try it again.
Yeah, and we talked about progressive banking around here. One thing I want to point out that is starting to become a disadvantage. You can see all those rubber chunks that are bouncing up in front of our camera lens. The rubber is starting to lay down not only on that outside rubber.
Lloyd's going around. He got into the back of Liston, but he saves it.
Yeah, and he would prefer to have a caution come out there. Now he's lost a lot of track position, not only in positions, but we're in relationship to where he is with the leader, so he is way behind the leader at this point.
Nice catch. And for Todd Liston, it's a case of next man up. Well, here comes Jerry Isaacs.
Yeah, and back on what I was talking about, you can slowly see it. The marbles are starting to happen in both the very bottom lane and in the middle of the track, and that's where I think we saw the trouble occur there for Moore. We're starting to get less and less grip. Even though you could make that middle groove work earlier in the race, the grip level is going away, and it's going to become more and more difficult. So the lane you want to be in is right where that dark strip is on the outside right there where you see Todd Liston running. That is where the track surface is clean. So anybody that goes below that, they've got to be thinking about that car getting loose. They have to be ready for it so that they can correct in time before it goes around.
Isaac now going down low. My partner said it gets messy down there, and maybe it does.
Yeah, you can really see him wiggle it, chase the car up the track, almost into the wall, and that allows Luke Logan to close right up. And if anybody's got experience down low, it'll be Luke Logan. So he'll be ready for any type of car correction that he has to do if he tries to make this pass on Isaacs.
Okay, if the viewers are like me, they're listening to what you're talking about the marbles, and they are confused because what I know about marbles is they tend to gather up near the wall. Later in the race, that seems to be the place you don't want to be. Why am I wrong?
Yeah, so yeah, they absolutely gather up in the wall, up next to the wall. But these drivers have been continuing to run the high line the entire night, and as the cars go over that marbles, they pick them up on the hot tires. The hot tires just pick them right back up, and then they sling them. That's why we're seeing all these marble chunks. I keep laughing on our camera screen as the cars go by because the cars are picking them up and throwing them. So wherever the cars are running, that lane is clean. We're seeing less and less cars running in the middle of the track and even fewer cars running at the very bottom. So now rubber chunks are starting to accumulate through there. So if you're the first car to try that after several laps, you're picking up those rubber chunks. The more chunks that get on your tire, the less contact you have with the actual tire surface to the racetrack and the less grip you have. And that's where you see these cars really bobbling and sliding around.
Does that become more of an issue because we're racing so many laps? We see more of it if we were going, we'd be over if we were doing a normal 100-lap race?
Yes, absolutely. At this track, absolutely. I can remember running SK modified races at this track, and in a 100-lap race, you could already see that starting to take place and occur. So we're on lap 177. It's only going to get worse.
Hey, Lloyd Moore just made a pass on Alan Wanamaker. He's got plenty of time. We're on lap number 177. Plenty of time to get there.
Oh, and there's a caution out, too. There is a caution, and this is going to be a hard decision. We see Rex Hoyle there in the 54. He's going to be the reason for it. Get a replay here. Looks like Chris Hazlip is following him into turn one. I think Rex is going to get a little bit loose. He did a nice job of trying to hang on to it, but looked like Hazlip just was not able to get slowed down there. And a lot of that goes back to the vision I talk about a lot in these modifieds. That air cleaner really blocks your vision a lot, and it becomes difficult to tell what the closing rate is on the car ahead of you.
Director, is Todd Liston available? Is he chattable? Yeah, we're not going to talk to him. We're not going to talk to him. I want to tell him to come down and take a pit stop.
Yeah, this is a big decision moment, so it does not look like he's coming down pit road. He's going to choose to stay out, and, you know, he's been able to hold off these drivers, and the more heat cycles that the cars that decide to come in and get tires earlier, the more heat cycles that they get into their tires, the harder their tire compound is going to become, and the more equal to Todd it's going to be. So Todd may feel like this was the way to win.
Well, Todd, if you're watching the rebroadcast, Soup wanted to talk to you and give you some advice and tell you to come down in there. So you're going to do it on your own. My partner says it may work. Bianchi is on the same strategy as him.
Yeah, and so I think the bad thing for Todd at this point, maybe the caution before was kind of the decision point. At this point, there are 14 cars that are still on the lead lap. In these yesteryear races, when we've ran these longer races, these 200-plus lap races, we've kind of seen more attrition. And tonight, we didn't see it. Even though we've had a lot of action, we still got 14 cars that are on the lead lap. So if you pit, you're going to have to restart in 14th, and we have seen some carnage back there. So Todd's thinking this is the best way to do it.
Big names that are still on the lead lap. Lloyd Moore starting back there on the outside of the third row right now. We wait. It's Liston and Isaacs.
Hi, we're All Modern. We sell all styles of modern furniture and decor. Then we deliver it all ASAP for free. It's all hand-vetted for quality, so you know it can withstand it all. All Modern. Modern made simple.
Great recordings start with the right tools. At Guitar Center, discover recording gear built for creators at every level. Interfaces, microphones, monitors, and more. Everything you need to capture your sound, record, mix, and create with gear designed to keep your ideas moving. Shop recording gear at Guitar Center.
We've seen Todd race up high. He's trying to get up high, and he's trying to get in front of Jerry, and he does. Jerry now dives it down low, but he's going to lose momentum. Luke Logan Allen back there on the inside. He's got nowhere to go. Moore tries to get down there. Moore looking for anywhere to put the car. Now the path clears in front of him. Moore gets under Bianchi. He's got 2 car lanes between him and Bianchi now.
Yeah, and that inside lane, it's going to become harder and harder to run as these guys get up to speed. So Moore continuing to try to work that middle lane, trying to ease up on Bianchi, but Bianchi's going to have that momentum as they come onto the front stretch.
And the Racing Rev, the Lipper, Chris Hazlip. He's had a few contacts with cars, but he's back there racing in 6th. Good run for Chris. Moore trying to get underneath Bianchi. Bianchi's having a quiet run up front in the 14.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've not talked about him a whole lot tonight, but he's a driver that can absolutely get the job done. So if things play out a little different up front, these leaders get to racing each other, he is going to be there to capitalize on it.
Looking a little farther back, going to the inside. Negus still mixing it up with Wanamaker and Lemire. Oil behind them watching on.
Yeah, and we're watching right here, almost contact up out of the corner. Lloyd Moore wants to get this pass done. He'd like to do a little bit of a slide job, but he just does not have enough room in front of Bianchi to even attempt to do that right now. So he's trying lap after lap to make that inside line work. He's trying to move Bianchi up on corner exit, but Bianchi so far has been able to keep his nose in there.
And I think Moore is finally clear, but he's not going to force the issue, and now he certainly is there. And while that goes on in front of him, Luke Logan Allen is going to try to go. He's going to try to pin Isaacs down behind Liston.
Yeah, and that's a good way to make a pass. If you've got a car that may be slowing down the car you're trying to pass, you can keep them pinned in that outside lane. There's nowhere for them to go. In return, you can carry some momentum on that bottom side. You see Luke just trying to move up just a little bit, being very respectful, but trying to move up to get a little extra grip on Isaacs. And he's able to run side by side with him, but he doesn't appear to be making a whole lot of headroom. And he's got to make a decision. There he makes it. He's going to get back in line before it's too late.
So what's the tire situation? I believe this is true. Todd Liston has been out there for 118 laps, but I think he's on. Could he be on his original tires? Yes, he would have to be, right? Certainly didn't take them back one. Oh, maybe he can't come in for tires because he already took them on that first stop. Meanwhile, Moore now going underneath.
Yeah, absolutely. You see how loose it's getting as you look off the back of Todd there. So Loya's fighting hard, trying to make that pass. I think he's going to get the pass done on Luke. Now he's got to figure out how to get by Jerry Isaacs. And Lloyd, without a doubt, now that James Lowe is out of the race, Lloyd has been the class of the field as far as speed has gone tonight. But it's become super difficult to make these passes. And people with track position like Todd Liston, they've got the perfect spot to be in. They are able to run the lane that they want to run, the speed they want to run, and they can judge corner entry because they've got open racetrack in front of them.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you car number 93, Chris Hazlip, the Lipper, the Racing Rev. He's looking to crack the top 5. Oh, getting loose outside J.R. Solly. He caught it.
Yeah, it looked like he was, swatting flies coming out of the corner. That was amazing car control from Luke Logan Allen, and that just showcases why he's up front a lot. We see Todd Liston gets into the wall a little bit through 3 and 4. There's going to be contact coming on the front stretch.
He gets bonked twice. Moore gets him. Isaac gets him. Liston loses the spot. They bang together again. Isaac tried to go underneath. He loses momentum. Bianchi now hunting for the injured drivers up ahead. Bianchi tries to go low. Hazlip in 5th, looking for anywhere to put the car. New leader. Well, he's led 22 laps, but he's out in front again. Lloyd Moore.
Yeah, absolutely. Some big-time racing up front. We saw some contact. Rex Hoyle looks like he was getting ready to go around. He's able to save it through turn 4 there. But these drivers, they are pushing hard. We're inside 25 to go. They know they've got to make the moves now.
Steve Hilbert brings his car down pit lane. Up in front. Oh, my.
Yeah, Moore got loose, it looks like, coming out of turn 4. This is something that Todd Liston kind of struggled with that cost him the lead, but now Moore has done it himself, and Todd Liston is back up front.
And Chris Hazlip trying to go underneath, having the race of his life.
Yeah, fighting for third spot.
He's got Bianchi on his outside, and the number 93 doesn't quite have him clear, but he is fast. They get together, but no, they're okay. I thought they were going to both lose it. Hazlip gets it into third. Bianchi saves it as well, right in front of Luke Logan Allen.
And you know, Hazlip pitted later than any of these drivers, so he's got the fresher rubber, and he is showing them why they needed to do the same thing. He's making it work coming through this field.
Liston sawing on the wheel. Isaac struggling as well.
Yeah, at this point, so we talked about all the marvels on the racetrack, how slick this track is becoming. That line is getting more and more narrow. But not only that, these cars are starting to become loose, I believe, on corner entry from what I'm seeing. So one of the worst things you can do when you have that situation or that car handling characteristic is to overdrive corner entry. If you're these drivers, you've got to continue to remember in your head, even though you've got somebody right behind you putting pressure on you, not to overdrive corner entry. If you do, that rear end is going to come around on you.
Negus was trying to get under Watermaker. It did not work. He lost all momentum, loses that spot, and won to Jeff Lemire. Listen to the different lengths of this stint. Todd Liston, been out there for 134 laps since his last stop. 108 for Isaacs, 61 for Hazlip, 134 for Bianchi, 89 for Kid Lemon Lime. 5 different stints of cars.
And they've all come together this late in the race. That's what's so great when you do have a long race. All the different strategies can come together, and you see all of these cars on super similar speeds, and they're able to just race each other. We're inside 15 laps to go. I think they're going to have to start to get aggressive. Not that they already haven't done some of that, but they're going to have to get aggressive if they want to make these final passes.
Eight different leaders so far. Leading his 100 lap right now is Todd Liston. The driver behind him has been out front for 1.
Oh, Todd gets loose going into turn 1 right there. A little bit too high on corner entry. It's going to allow Isaacs to get down to his inside. Todd's going to have a perfect turn 3 and 4 here in order to hold him off. We see him getting loose.
It collects the lipper, but he gets through. Everybody keeps the car going straight. We're not going to get a yellow. Now, Negus gets into the back of Hazlip, who is well off the pace. We stay green.
There's that aggression level that I talked about. These guys know that they have to make something happen right now.
Oh, and then there were some drivers that got disqualified. Hazlip was one of them.
Yeah, Hazlip, Hoyle, he got one as well. Both have black flags here.
So, your new leader, Brian Bianchi.
Yeah, I talked about it maybe 50 laps ago that if something weird happened up front, Bianchi would be there to capitalize on it, and here he is, but we've seen that it's not been a comfortable place to be the leader. It tends to cause you to overdrive corner entry, so he's going to have to remember how he was running this car and not step over that grip limit in these final 8 laps.
I don't know how many laps Jerry Isaac has ran in the second position, but there's been a lot. But he has a different driver in front of him many times. And right now, he's trying to run down Brian Bianchi. So the Lipper is gone. Luke Logan Allen is back. Alan Wanamaker back in fourth. Liston has gathered himself up. He's racing in seventh. Let's give you a name I don't think we've talked about all race long. Car number 27, Brian Johnson, now in the top 5.
Yeah, and he's a driver I've looked at off and on. He's always been running a different lane, so he is very comfortable running down through there. And because he's been down there for so long, he's cleaned off some of those marbles. So he has got a groove kind of worked out for himself. He can make this work to continue to move forward and maybe get that 4th spot from Wanamaker.
I don't think it's fair that anyone else should be able to run that line. If he's done all the work, it should belong to him. That's just my opinion. Luke Logan Allen in third. I have no clue who's going to win this one, folks. We are on lap 223.
Oh, it's going to be tight. So Isaacs is trying to set up a pass. The bad news for him is that Luke Logan, right behind him in third place, is going to try to do the same thing. I look to see a big move come from that third position as we get into the last lap here.
6 corners to go. Car number 14, Brian Bianchi. He's led 9 laps. He's led 10 laps. He'd like to lead 11. If he can get that done, he'll get the win. The battle is back there for second. Jerry Isaacs trying to hold off Luke Logan Allen. They're going nowhere. Brian Johnson hoping for a podium spot. He's going to make it 3 wide. Meanwhile, out in front, the final corner. Getting the win, Brian Bianchi. 225 laps. He's first to get there. Second is Isaac. The kid gets third. Brian Johnson. Too sadly, we won't get to talk to him, but what a great run from car number 27. Jeff Lemire rounds out your top 5. Holy moly, I thought, what's going to happen in 225 laps that couldn't happen in 125 laps? As a little bit of going on there with Luke Logan, Allen Bianchi. I think they're just having fun. With that said, the racing is over. We'll take a short break, come back, run down the finishing order, talk to the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network. Welcome back to Irwindale Raceway and Drag Strip. And you're watching the Virtual Grip Network's Lives That Happens coverage of the YesterYear Modified Series, where past meets present. Round number 6, the results are in. Let's give them to you right now. Well, he started way back in 8th position, but he worked his way all the way up to 1st. Led the last 11 laps. We're talking about Brian Bianchi. Jerry Isaacs raced up front for so many laps, but wasn't able to get to the lead. He'll finish in 2nd. The kid, Luke Logan Allen, goes in 3rd. Brian Johnson, a quiet 4th place. Jeff Lemire as well in 5th. Back after your top 10, Alan Wanamaker. Todd Liston led 101 laps, but not the one that counted. Lloyd Moore, Scott Negus led a lap, and we go all the way down to 10th position, which was Thomas Hilbert, 13 laps out in front.
Yeah, coming home in 11th. First car 1 lap down will be Gavin Adams tonight. Steve Hilbert, he'll come home in 12th, 2 laps down. Torch Childs, 13th place tonight. Rex Hoyle comes home in 14th. Chris Hazlip having an amazing run. Comes to an end late in this race, 11 laps down in 15th place. James Lowe, your points leader, has a disappointing night, comes home in 16th. Roger Hurley, another driver having a great run early in this race, will come home in 17th place. Ken Allen comes home in 18th. Glenn Jamison in 19th. And rounding out the field tonight in 20th position will be Chris Worrell.
With that said, we get to talk to our race winner, Brian Bianchi. Brian, you got a copy? Brian, it's Soup. You got a copy?
I got you, Soup.
All right. Well, we get to talk to you a lot, but it seems like a long time since we've got to talk to you first. Congratulations on the win.
Oh, thank you, Soup. This Culpepper's Bakery Cafe car was pretty fast tonight. Crew chief decided we were going to take tires pretty early, and it didn't hurt us. I wasn't happy with the decision.
We watched you. You were racing up front for most of the race and competitive, and then the opportunity came and you got there.
Yeah, sometimes it's sometimes you need a little luck to win these extra distant ones. But car was good. I was still kind of holding back till about 20 to go, and that's when I really started putting it on.
Okay, I can't let you leave without telling me more about Culpeper Bakery and Cafe. Is that a local diner around the place?
Yeah, they have breakfast, lunch, and it's a big bakery. They've been my sponsor since the beginning.
In Boston or where?
If you ever get a chance to come up to Worcester, they're right by Holy
Worcester.
Cross.
Okay, got it. Got it. You know, I'm marking it down. If I'm in there, I'm going in there. Thanks a lot, buddy. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks, guys.
Culpeper Bakery and Cafe. Sounds good to me. Who you got, buddy?
All right, I'm with 2nd place, Jerry Isaacs tonight. Jerry, congratulations, man. I want to ask you a couple of quick questions here. We saw you pit close to halfway, take some tires, looked like a good strategy, but talk us through what else did you need to have happen? There was tons of action happening up front late in the race here.
Oh my God, that was a crazy race. Had to make for some great television. Honestly, all I needed to do is when towards the end, Todd, I guess, got loose, hit my right rear, and then hit the wall. I thought I came up into him, and I felt so bad that I just lost focus. And I don't know if you saw, but in the next corner, I hit the wall and stuck on the wall. I think if I had simply been able to maintain focus there, I think I could have held the lead. I mean, all night I felt like I was just a tinge faster than the guys in front of me. Not fast enough to pass, but fast enough I was in front of them, I could have stayed there.
Absolutely. You put on a great show for us because you were up front a lot tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and take you into the next race. You guys get about a month off. Get a little bit of a break here. Then you go to New Hampshire for 100 laps. I think it's going to be a little similar to the type of racing you had tonight. Probably going to be slipping and sliding a little bit through the corners there, carrying a lot of speed. What are your thoughts going into there? Because you're starting to move up through the points. Maybe had a little bit of a slow start, but now you're moving up.
Yeah, I'm just focused on one race at a time and trying to finish those races and really focus on. I think early on I just burnt my tires up trying to learn how to drive these cars, and like tonight I really was not focused on anything in particular in the race other than just running my laps, racing the track, not the drivers. Spent a lot of time tonight kind of just cruising behind the guy in front of me, and when they made a mistake, try to take advantage of that opportunity. Same thing would be at New Hampshire. Just work on my racing, focus on racing the track.
Absolutely, man. Continue to do that strategy because it definitely paid off tonight, and maybe we'll get another interview with you as we get through race number 7 at New Hampshire.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I look forward to it.
All right, man. Hey, congratulations. Second place run you put on a show for us up there.
Hey, thank you very much, man. And quick shout out to YesterYear putting on a great series here, to you guys doing the broadcast. You do a fabulous job. And hi, Mom.
Awesome job. That was Jerry Isaacs coming home in second place here tonight at Irwindale. Soup.
Oh, gotta love a guy who gives a hi, Mom. All right, with that, we get to talk to Kid 11 Line, Luke Logan Allen. Luke, other than putting the car in the grass, I don't know if there's a racing line you didn't try tonight. You were everywhere out there.
I don't think there was a line I didn't try.
Nice job. We saw a lot of marble issue. Was that a problem there for you at the end, or did you have a line that was clear?
Yeah, I don't think if you went to the inside, I think the marbles would have just made you lose so much grip that it wouldn't benefit.
Got it. All right, let's talk about you. It's the end of May. I don't know what your school schedule like. It's about 10 o'clock where you are. I don't know, 9 o'clock. Do you have school tomorrow, or are you out?
Well, luckily, I got an orthodontist appointment, so I'm out.
Well, that's not lucky, but I hope that goes well for you. My last question. The dynamics at the house. You and your dad race. You both have your own rigs. You race in separate rooms, correct?
Yes.
Okay. When he gets out early, does he come down to bother you, or does he leave you alone?
If I'm doing something not smart, then he'll come in and say, hey, don't do that.
Right. But he's out of the race. How is he giving you advice? All right. Congratulations, buddy. Well done. We'll see you down the road.
Thanks, Soup.
All right.
Uncle Soup.
Uncle Soup, come on. Let's keep it formal. All right. With that said, our racing is over tonight. We hope you enjoyed the show. I had a blast. I hope you enjoyed watching it half as much as I enjoyed working with it, especially when I get to work with my partner, J.R. Shepherd. 225 laps of wisdom. There was never a dull spot from my partner the entire race. We're going to put up when we're racing next time. There it is. They're in a straight line this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A couple there at Kern, Pocono. My goodness, that'll be fun. What's a Pocono? YesterYear. Oh my gosh. And then we got some Lotus 79s going to Homestead. I can't want to miss that one. And then Rockingham. All those broadcasts, past and future ones, all the producers of the Virtual Grid Network. On behalf of all the little faces you see right there, and so many of them have facial hair, we'd like to thank all of you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the show. If not, we'll try to do better next time. Until then, have fun storming the castle.